Good afternoon. My name is David Weaton, and I'm an attorney with the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, also known as LDF. Founded in 1940 by Thurgood Marshall, LDF is the nation's water affordability programs and shutoff protections risk hurting DeKalb County's most vulnerable residents. Since 2023, according to county records, DeKalb County has shut off more than 4,500 practices within DeKalb County. And you will hear stories from practices within DeKalb County. And you will hear stories from residents about these inconsistent practices. The proposed rate hikes are likely to exacerbate these negative impacts, are unaffected by water rate hikes because their water bills are capped depending on their income level. As of July 2023, the program has been largely effective and a huge success at targeting residents and neighborhoods where water affordability has been an issue. So we want to be clear.
Residential water bills is spent to remove sewage, making water drinkable again. Approximately 85 cents pays for sewer. The remaining 15 cents pays for potable or drinking water. According to county data from 2010 to 2023, twice as much of a deadline for repairing infrastructure in, quote, priority areas, primarily located in North DeKalb County. There is not a deadline to repair sewer infrastructure in, quote, non-priority areas, primarily located in South DeKalb County. This undisputed detail is confirmed by the federal judge overseeing the DeKalb consent decree, and I quote, Judge Grimberg, the court notes that the premise of plaintiff's argument is undisputed. Unlike priority areas, the consent decree does not establish a timeline for DeKalb to stop spills or rehabilitate the water collection transport system in non-priority areas. If you overlay our sewage spill map, which we created some years ago, with the previous map of water shutoffs, you will see that they are the same people being impacted. This means there is no deadline for approximately 70% or 1,750 miles of the county's 2,600 miles of sewer pipe to be repaired or replaced. The 2027 consent decree deadline only applies to 30% or 780 miles of the county's sewer pipes. Both areas contain roughly the same amount of water pipes for a total of approximately 5,200 miles of water and sewer infrastructure. That is a huge number. It will take a long time and lots of money to repair the county's water sewer system. As the county considers imposing an 18% increase in water rates over the next 3 years, with additional increases surely to follow, South River Watershed Alliance urges the county to do 3 things. Explore and exhaust long-term, low-interest infrastructure funding and other alternatives offered through various federal and state sources. 2, explore and adopt successful plans and policies implemented by other like-situated cities that have successfully reduced the financial burden on vulnerable residents. 3, disconnecting residents' water has had a disproportionate impact on Black DeKalb residents and residents with disabilities. A moratorium should be imposed on this destructive practice. Absorbent payment demands far beyond the financial capability of impacted residents should be discontinued with the goal of curtailing and eliminating disruptions and denial of service altogether based on inability to pay. All DeKalb citizens have a right to a functioning water and sewer system. Equity of access and financial impact on ratepayers should be paramount, regardless of where one resides in the county. Thank you.
Good Good morning. My name is McKenzie, and I'm the founder of Dekalb Water Watch. In 2016, when I created the Facebook group, Unbelievable Dekalb Water Bills, I was pregnant with my youngest son. This week, he turned 8 years old. I never imagined the community that I grew up in would be a place where my neighbors worry if they can bathe their children, or a place where you might be forced from your home because of a $20,000 water bill. We've been in the fight for affordable water for nearly a decade. Despite clear solutions that could be deployed, the problems persist. Over the years, I've heard from countless residents who had to choose between paying their water bill and putting food on the table. Residents without water living in unsanitary conditions while fighting for their lives due to illness. The financial ruin and decline in health that residents have endured due to the mismanagement of water billing is devastating. On a positive note, I would like to acknowledge the deep pride I feel for the progress that residents have been able to accomplish together. From pressuring the county to stop installing faulty meters to demanding the disconnect moratorium be put in place. We asked the county why there was no documented dispute process in place, and we didn't quit asking until they put one in place. We helped residents compile data to prove their bills were inaccurate. When the county still said they had to pay up, we escalated to the commissioners who handheld residents through to a fair resolution of their disputes. We pushed and we persevered because we believe the residents of our county deserve better. Through grassroots efforts, our community united to protect thousands of neighbors from losing access to water. But what I want to know is, why are we, the taxpayers, the ones doing the work? Why are we expected to bear the financial burden of inaccurate bills and potential rate hikes to pay for the county's failing infrastructure? Why are we put in a position where we have to force the hands of elected officials to do their jobs? We will no longer settle for lip service, half measures, or being pushed to the side. We come here today with clear policy solutions. We demand that the commissioners vote no to a rate hike, and we insist that all residents in DeKalb County have equal access to affordable, clean water under the law. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dom Kelly. I'm the founder and CEO of New Disabled South. We are a regional disability justice organization based here in Georgia, but work in 14 southern states. I am here because the disabled residents of DeKalb County deserve better. Access to water is not just a basic human right. It's essential for the health, safety, and dignity of disabled people everywhere. And yet many here in DeKalb County are being left behind. In Georgia, we know that essential utilities are often cut off without considering the unique needs of our vulnerable populations. Disabled folks, many of them who require consistent water access for medical needs. Maybe it's wound care, maybe it's hygiene, maybe it's operating medical equipment. They are placed at severe risk when water is shut off, especially due to unaffordable bills. And in DeKalb County, we're already seeing the harmful effects firsthand. We know that there are nearly 100,000 people with disabilities in DeKalb County that we know of. And for Black residents with disabilities, the burden is even heavier. Black households in our region, including Georgia, face higher utility costs relative to income and are more likely to experience water shutoffs. And so how does this impact disabled people? Well, we already know that here in Georgia, disabled people, many of them, are on a waiting list, more than 7,200 people waiting, sometimes for 10, 15, 20 years, for waivers that would allow them care in their own homes, and in the interim, many are placed into institutions. They're placed into institutions many times because coverage, this is all a result of policy failures. So we're asking for there not to be a rate hike. We're asking for our elected officials and our government agencies to consider the realities that disabled people in DeKalb County face today. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Lane. how this water bill exploded to the Watershed Department, to the commissioners, to the press, to the organizations on whom I rely to for help, to me and my families, to my friends. It is far more draining to live under the constant threat of having my water disconnected over a ridiculous water bill. It is almost laughable to think that when I moved my family to DeKalb County in February of 2023, that we were first assigned a credit from the water company of approximately $1,700. So when the first bill was around $1,200, I assumed the bill, along with the credit, was from a previous account. And that billing would reset. Instead, the bills reached $500. And I contacted the Watershed Department. A representative from Watershed came to inspect the property and found no issues. Yet the bills continued to increase. When I contacted Watershed a second time, one of their representatives found a leak, did some work, and I was instructed to wait for the next bill to ensure the repairs were completed. But the bills continued to climb and climb and climb. During this time, Watershed informed me that I was losing thousands of gallons of water, and that according to their records, this had been an issue on the property since 2020. Though I was never informed. However, I was also instructed that once the leak had been diagnosed and repaired, my bills would be eligible for an adjustment. Instead, during the process of my landlord hiring a private contractor to diagnose and fix several leaks on the property, my bill grew into the amount that you saw on the news, $80,000. But as unbelievable as that amount was, the handling of my account by the county was something I could never imagine. I moved to DeKalb County as a single mom to improve my circumstances of my family. As I previously mentioned, I am a survivor, and I am no stranger to overcoming life's challenges. But after following the directions of county officials for over a year in the hopes of rectifying my situation, I still had my water disconnected after a generous family member paid over $1,000 to have my service reconnected. The county continues to bill me $500. Today I say to other residents experiencing this, you are not alone. And to DeKalb County officials, I say you have the responsibility to end this suffering, and the time is now.
So in closing, the evidence is clear. These water shutoffs are disproportionately hurting Black DeKalb residents, low-income residents, and residents with disabilities. We want to thank Commissioner Longspears and Commissioner Tibbs so that no DeKalb resident is left without water. Thank you. So they have proposed it to take place on March 1st, 2025, if they vote for it. The voting is supposed to start, according to this last commissioner meeting on November 12th, that the next Board of Commissioners meeting is when they're supposed to vote. Residents can take action by contacting your county commissioner and saying that you want these shutoff protections for your neighbors so that your neighbors don't have to deal with their water being shut off. Residents can also, again, call their commissioners and talk to them about making sure that they do not vote for this proposed rate hike without shutoff protections, without an income-based repayment plan.